Hey everyone, it's John here from Hot Take Hockey, back with another video. Going to do a quick mock draft, or at least just talk about some picks that I've been really impressed with, and just some guys that I think could go higher than maybe they're currently ranked, or just in general, talk about the top 15, talk about the top 32. So I'm going to use Tankathon here because I think a lot of people just have fun simming the lottery. I did a simulation right here, and Ottawa and Montreal jumped spots. Montreal jumped 6 spots from their current spot in the lottery, and Chicago and San Jose fall. I mean, that's a possibility, right? Or we could just see it how it is, and Chicago and San Jose are at the top, and Chicago gets the first overall pick, and they get Celebrini to join Bedard. Who knows? But I think the lottery is always interesting. Team like Ottawa, that's supposed to be good this year. We're supposed to have expectations. If they jump into a lottery spot, changes their franchise in big ways probably, right? But again, if you do reset it, you see San Jose and Chicago at the top, and maybe it stays that way. But based on what I simulated, let's go to a little mock draft here. So Celebrini and Yzerman at 1 and 2. A lot of people have different opinions on Yzerman. At the end of the day, 29 goals in 28 games. Like he's shown the maturity, but then other people want to look at Celebrini and just across the board, just how dynamic he is. And I think at the very least, you'll see these two guys 1 and 2, or at least in the top 3. I think Celebrini is the number 1. I still have said that. I think he showed quite a bit in the World Juniors to the point that he is as dynamic as some of the generational talents, but I don't think he'll be there. I think he'll be one below. And I think probably when you talk about like the McDavid, Bedard, McKinnons of the world, I think Celebrini will be like just below that. So he might be another guy that takes some time developing. Who knows? I mean, look how Lafreniere, he looked so dynamic out of the World Juniors, and then it took him like 3-4 years, and we're finally seeing signs of it. And yeah, it's basically 3 years. So I think Celebrini could be that type. As much as I could see him being dynamic at the start, I think, and maybe Fantilli's similar. I think you see the signs from a guy like that, but I think maybe it takes a little bit of time, but they're going to be dynamic. So Celebrini, Yzerman, I don't have too many issues. But once you get here, I would say Sam Dickinson, I would say anywhere from like 3 to, I think he'll be in the top 10. I've watched him enough that I think he's going to be one of the higher defensemen in the draft. I think Caden Lidstrom could also go higher. I think he's very elite out in the dub. I think he could be top 5. Let's see. I think Adam Juracek could be up to a top 10. Again, it really depends on how teams are looking at defensemen. There's a lot of defensemen that can go in the top 15 in this draft. So especially in the WHL, I think the scouting has been there for defensemen. So we'll see if that's the case. But then you go down and you see a couple familiar names. Cole Hudson. So I think realistically, and I'll just put this out there, I think if the Habs ended up trading for a later pick and Cole Hudson was still on the board, you could probably put it out there that Montreal is going to draft Cole Hudson. A couple other guys I want to give a shout to. I think Iginla is going to go higher than 28. I think he'll probably go top 20. I mean, having Pops that had an unbelievable NHL career, but also he's just ripping it up in the dub. 27 goals in 37 games, 49 points to show for as an 18-year-old. Pretty legit. Or he might still be 17, but 17, 18, legit. Luke Misa with the Steelheads. I think he's had a really good season. His brother's also electric in the OHL. So I would look out for Luke Misa being a later first-round pick. I think people will be happy with that. Outside of that, I don't think there was too many conversations. I'll be honest, guys. I've mostly been focusing on the higher picks, guys that have had more exposure in North America. I should be specific on that. So guys that are playing overseas. Outside of the World Juniors, I haven't seen too much of Hellenius, and I haven't seen a lot of the guys that play overseas. But I will say this, that I think this draft is going to be another one where it's going to be a lot of surprises. I think after Celebrini, and then we'll see what happens with Yzerman. But I think after a couple of those guys, we're going to see a lot of surprise picks. And I think it's going to come down to a few of these guys that especially have like either NHL brothers or other brothers. If they individually show their higher stock, again, like a Luke Misa or a Ginla, I think some of these guys that already have names next to them, they've really got to push it the rest of the way. So give me your thoughts, guys, on this order on Tankathon. Again, I'm going to be doing a lot more draft videos and scouting myself because I haven't been able to do that as much until probably about December when I was doing my pre-World Junior scouting just for my own knowledge. But Again, I think Sam Dickinson could be the first defenseman on the board. That would be my guess right now. So Sam Dickinson, first defenseman off the board. And then I think based on this, I think the two guys that could jump in this draft, depending, again, the Steelheads are doing well in the OHL right now. I think Luke Misa could jump big. I mean, I could also even scroll down here. Let's see if there's any other guys that I've been impressed with. No, I think that's a good pick. I think Luke Misa could jump depending on how he does now and into the playoffs with the Steelheads. And I think Iginla could jump depending on how Kelowna does. So, again, guys, subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. We'll see you soon. And, yeah, I'll be making more draft videos and more specific scouting. We'll actually get some scouting experts maybe on the channel to talk about it. All right, guys, talk soon. Bye.